Hi everybody, welcome to the Bag Makers Society podcast. Hopefully everybody can hear me because we have had some lovely little gremlins in with us this evening, mucking around with the technology and deciding that it wasn't going to let it work. So hopefully you can hear us okay. I can see Andy's been in the chat and just let everybody know that we would be a couple of minutes late while we frantically try to sort them out. So thank you very much for your patience. So this evening we have Jill from KiteCo Creates. So it's this evening for us, but it's very early in the morning for her. So very gratefully she has, for us, she's getting up and spending her morning chatting with us about all things bag making. So without further ado, I shall bring in Jill.
Hi,
I'm just
nice
checking
to
I
be
have
here.
taken your phone off mic. Okay. Ooh, we got there in the finish. I might get a little bit tangled up because I have my old school headphones in, because the other ones wouldn't work. So I'll quickly run through the chat and say hi to all of those that are joining us live. So we've got Maureen, we've got Sue, we've got Elaine, and Tracy's saying hi to everybody. Andy was just letting everybody know that we had a few technical issues. Donna's saying hi. And saying, thought we'd sorted all those gremlins. Absolutely not. They will be forever a bane of my existence. Donna's saying it's all good. Lynn's here. Jackie's here. Sue's saying, hi Deb and Andy, don't you love those gremlins? Need putting back in their naughty box. Very much so. And we have Pauline here and Lynn saying hi to everybody. We have gremlins in New Zealand as well.
Something fell down.
Yes. It's definitely been a day that's been sent to try us, I think, today, hasn't it? But we'll get there. We will get there. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. For you, they were just saying before we came on, it's so strange, the big time difference, and obviously the big season difference as well.
Yeah,
it's quite obscure, isn't it?
yeah. We're sitting at about 22 degrees at the moment during the day, which it'll get a lot warmer, but you're quite different for you guys.
Very much so. I feel like I'm sitting at about -4 at the moment because I'm very cold. I don't have any heating on in the sewing room today, but mainly because I get too warm as sort of the hour or so progresses, and then I can't do anything about it. So I'll be fine in about 10 minutes. But why don't we start by you giving us a little introduction to yourself and sort of talking us through how you got into bag making and doing what you do.
Okay, well, I'm Jill from KiteCo Creates, as you said. I've been sewing for a long, long time. My mum always used to sew. She made all our clothes and taught me to sew on her little hand singer. So yeah, I started sewing my clothes as a preteen, and then I decided to change up all my dress patterns because I didn't like the ones that she had. So switched skirts for tops and tops for skirts and changed everything around. I think my first bag I ever made was a nappy bag when I had my son, and he's 42 now, so that's a while ago. Didn't have any of the fancy stabilizers and zips and things that we've got now. And it was a self-drafted kind of what I needed. But I guess I seriously got into bag making maybe 3 years ago, but I didn't know Facebook groups existed. I was very skeptical of Facebook. And I bought a Spencer Og pattern, which I absolutely loved, and it had a link to a Facebook group, and that was it. You couldn't stop me. I joined all these groups, learned all these amazing things about how to make proper bags. And it's just gone from there.
And I mean, now you're even designing your own patterns.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't say this. I don't do well with instructions.
Join the club.
So for me, it was like, I'm a visual learner. And for me, it was easier to kind of come up with my own patterns. Sometimes than it was to follow the instructions on somebody else's. It's just the way my brain works. And that's why I got into YouTube as well, like doing the instructions for other people. Because every time I buy a pattern, I always go through, or even before I buy the pattern, I go through YouTube, see how it's made, and think, I like that. I like the way that's done. Because I'm not a read it and do person at all.
Yeah. I totally get you with that. I'm the same. And I think I've spoke about this like on the podcast before. I'm definitely somebody, if there's too many instructions, I struggle with that. I kind of need sort of bullet points. Even like I get bamboozled very easily. And so I'm very much like you as well. I'm very much a visual learner, and I'll always go to YouTube for somebody's tutorial. And I like to see lots of variety of tutorials as well, because I like to see different people's takes on things, so if they don't put something in, how it turns out, if they add something in, how it turns out, the different materials that they use. So I love having that variety that YouTube and the Facebook groups bring, seeing people's different pictures of their bags that they've created. And
I think to start with, I always try to follow the pattern as closely as possible, right? Do it exactly how the designers suggested you do it, as much as I can. Just to get a feel of the pattern, and then the next time I'm like, nope, just going to add some stuff, take some stuff, do some stuff. But I think to start with, people are scared to change things up. It's like, I suppose new bag makers, I can understand that. But I personally, as a designer, I think it's flattering if people change up the pattern. If they're confident enough to go, oh, I like that style, or I like that look, but I want to do this. I think that's what it's about.
Yeah. It means it's versatile enough to be able to do that as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, if we can give them something that inspires their creativity, I love it. Yeah.
You sound very much like me. I'm very much the same. I tend to try as much as I can to follow the pattern as closely as I can and do as I'm told, basically, the first time.
I don't know if I'd said that.
and then after that, I'm a bit of a wing it. I'm a bit of a wing it girl.
But I think too, the reason I try to follow them, I guess that's why I signed up to the Bag of the Month Club a while back ago, because it forces me to do patterns I wouldn't normally do, which means I'm going to learn techniques I might not otherwise learn because I might not do that style of bag, and it's good for us to learn different ways of doing it than being stuck in the route of, I always do my zip this way, it's the right way, there's no other way of doing it, because that's not the case. We can all learn so much.
Yeah. I always say there's no right way of doing it. If it works for you, that's the right way.
Totally. And our machines are all different.
Yeah. Exactly. How I do something might work for me, how you do something might work for you, and how somebody else does something might work for them. And there could be three completely different ways, or just three slight variations, but it's what works, isn't it?
What I would love to do is have three people with the same materials, same pattern, same everything, and video them just doing it and playing them alongside each other. I bet you the bag will look exactly the same when it's finished. But so many different ways of achieving it.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting sort of social type experiment, wouldn't it? Really? The sewn version of Big Brother.
Oh, I like it. Let's start.
Let's put everybody into a house. We'll just sew all day long.
Oh, dream time.
We'd have to have a swear jar. Oh, yeah.
Yes, and we need catering. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I guess you must have the same issue as me too, and that's finding a lot of the materials that people have in their patterns, like stabilizers and, different things that they're accessing or they recommend in the pattern, because we can't, being from New Zealand, we can't necessarily find what's suggested. So how the stabilizers we use too will have an impact, all sorts of things.
Yeah. Oh. And I mean, I think even for like the UK, I think is even a little bit easier than the likes of New Zealand, even though we're a much smaller sort of country. I think we can access things even a little bit easier than what it is for you guys over in over in New Zealand. So sometimes you just have to get creative, don't you, and make it work.
Yeah, I'm trying to make access to things a little bit easier for the sewing community here. And I suppose that's a whole new avenue, isn't it? You know, someone's got to step up and say, okay, how about I import webbing, or how about I import one thing? And I'm trying to encourage others to do the same. You don't
Yeah.
need to set up a shop to cover everything, even though I'm trying to do that. But even if someone just says, oh, yeah, I'm just going to supply webbing. There's so much amazing webbing out there, and what an awesome little business idea for someone just to import webbing.
Which, I mean, that brings us absolutely brilliantly on to you taking over Kiwi Baggers in the last few weeks. How's all that going?
Oh, it's been a journey. It's been hectic, to be honest, because long story short, we bought a big house, split it in half for my parents at the front, and we've got the back. So they've got the garage and anywhere that you would run a business from. So I had to build a glorified shed down the end of my section for that. So it's been a month of build, pick up the stock, get it in the shop. But yeah, I think yesterday was the first day I felt a little bit comfortable with. I knew where everything was, knew the orders. But it is, I wanted to take it over because the person who had it before was absolutely a legend in setting it up in New Zealand. But she wanted to step out of it, and we really needed someone to keep it going. We need that here. It would have been such a pity just to see her sell the stock and not have it continue. So it was a really great. You think about these things and do you, don't you? It's a big leap of faith that people will still need the products and not buy everything on Temu or all these other places. But yeah, it's exciting too because there's lots of new products that I'm hoping to bring in or try so that's exciting. But I'm keeping it separate from my sewing, so I'm going to have to go down the shop to buy everything off myself to use.
I know that's a thing, isn't it? It's sort of like you're not wanting to sort of deplete all of like your sort of what you've got to sell because you want to use it all yourself.
Yeah, because I mean, you sell hardware as well, don't you? Yeah. I think for me, I'm wanting to narrow down the colours. Like at the moment, we've got everything, the 5 colours, actually the 6 colours. The 6 colours, I'm like, yeah. And I'm really thinking I want to narrow that down. I'm like, there's 3 obvious main ones when I look back over the sales. And I'm like, is that going to matter? Is it better to have less colours and more choice in those colours? It's a bit of it'd be interesting to see what the community's thought of that.
It is really hard to kind of know what to do because no matter what, if you sort of said, oh, I'm getting, I don't know, like my least seller is rose gold.
Right, yes.
So if I sort of said, oh, I'm going to get rid of rose gold, it'd be a contingency of people who love rose gold who'd be like, no, don't get rid of it. But its sell-through rate isn't high. But there are times where I'm doing a bag where I think, oh, rose gold would go lovely with this. And I don't use rose gold as a rule myself much.
I'm the same.
I'm a brass girl. Like, I struggle to look at something and see past brass because my default is to go to brass because I just love it.
I haven't. I am just starting to fall in love with it. I've always been gunmetal, and if I could get matte gunmetal, I'd be happy, but no, we won't go down that route. So, yeah, I'm just seeing brass goes with so much.
It does. Yeah, I mean, I've literally got this bag behind me that's got brass on it, and then I'm doing another one behind me again, which is part of the club Sew Along this month. And I was like, yeah, that's going to be brass too. I mean, mainly I was being economical because it was only 1 D-ring and 1 lobster clasp on this, so I'm using the other D-ring and lobster clasp on this one. But it is my favourite.
But I'm thinking if I drop rose gold, for example, it means I can get a whole different set of swivels, a whole different style of, do you know what I mean? And give people more option. Because, I mean, there is a limit to what you can carry, obviously. You can't.
Yeah. You'll be like me and lying awake in bed at 2:00 in the morning. Going, what about this?
Oh,
And oh, what
yeah.
about that?
Well, I've just put my first fabric order in, which is kind of interesting. But I'm doing a project box because,
mhm,
because Emma is such a huge inspiration. And she says to me, "You've got to do that. You should do that." And I'm like, no,
yeah,
no, no. And I thought, we just don't have anything over here. It's like New Zealand, it's so expensive for shipping from anywhere,
yeah.
So I thought, let's do that. So I just did that last night, 3 o'clock in the morning. I pushed the pay button and so that's
And then went,
exciting.
ah.
Well, I've been doing samples for the last 8 weeks. So,
Mhm.
because I'm a little bit fussy about what I want it printed on because I sublimate. So I know how the print affects on different fabric bases and things. So that's, trying not to do everything.
But by saying fussy, that just is probably something that's going to set you apart, because you're not going to settle for anything less than what is absolutely right. So you wouldn't be giving your customers anything that you wouldn't be happy with yourself.
Either that or else I'll have half of the website will be the discount section.
Yeah. It is difficult to sort of, I'll get ideas in my head and then I'm like, is this a good idea? Is it not a good idea? And then I'm usually pestering my husband for his input, which is
Look, where would be we without our husbands? Honestly, it was my wedding anniversary yesterday, 31 years, and I'm like, I couldn't be where I am without his support. It is just, well, I guess I could have done it. It just wouldn't have been it hasn't been easy, but it wouldn't have gone the way it has if without his support.
And it wouldn't have been as much fun.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Especially once the kids all leave home, because ours have all left home now. And it's just me and him rattling around, and it's like different stage of life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you very much.
Well, me and Andy are only just coming up for our first anniversary next month. Well, literally
exciting.
In about 3 weeks' time.
But the first is the best celebration. Like, we always talk about our first wedding anniversary, and we've never been able to match it, so we don't bother.
Yeah, I don't really think we've got much planned, if I'm completely honest with you. I think Andy's just pleased to have survived it. With my sort of, I've been thinking, or I've had an idea, and he's like, ugh. But yeah, 31 years is amazing. And like you say, you're coming into sort of a different era. You haven't got, children to run around after, those school runs to do that take up so much time, and all of, so having something to focus your energies on is really exciting, isn't it?
And then you get to the other stage, though, where I've got my dad. I'm still involved very much, even though he's in the West, I'm involved with his care. And Mum's in the flat at the front, and she's needing more care. So it moves from one responsibility to another responsibility set. So trying to fit our sewing and our business around that. But I was thinking last night, I haven't, apart from a free pattern I'm wanting to release, so because I'm not ever trying to do too much at once, of course, I haven't sewn anything. Like, I really want to sew. I'm really missing it. It's my de-stress to everything. It's like,
Me and Emma, obviously from 77, who you just mentioned before,
I love Emma.
Talk about. She's lovely. She's so
sorry, fan club here.
And and we'll say all the time, having a sewing business means that we sew so much less than we've ever sewn ever. Even because I had a different business prior to this one, which was, very full on and very demanding, and I sewed more then.
Yeah, it's crazy
than I do now. Yeah.
Because I've always had a business related to sewing. I did design and one-off couture stuff and wedding dresses and stuff. And then sewing was just business. I had to step away from it in my outside time. But I think with bags, it's quite different. It's almost like it's actually, I've just got a new sticker printed, and it's like better than therapy, with a picture of a sewing machine and wine on it. And it's true. It is my distress just to sew. But I think it's different if you're sewing for a tutorial or sewing for a pattern that you're prototyping. Just to sew for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, and it can be hard to have that sort of separation when you do have a business that is relating to your hobby.
Yeah.
Because where does the business start and end, and where does the hobby begin and end? I mean, I'm quite lucky in that a lot of the things that I sew as part of my business are things that I want to sew anyway. It's very, very rare that I have that I'm kind of making anything that I'm not really enjoying making, or that I'm not wanting to make.
Yeah.
And like we were sort of saying just as we were chatting before, all of the tech gremlins came and had their fun. You know, sort of doing things like bag of the month and getting out of your comfort zone and that sort of thing. Even when there's been times I've thought, I don't know that I'm quite keen on this one, I've then actually enjoyed doing it, or I've enjoyed the process of doing it, even if the finished bag itself wouldn't necessarily be something that I would use, or because it's probably not big enough for all of my stuff. But I've enjoyed the process, or I've learned new things because it's maybe been a designer that I haven't come across before.
Right.
You know, and they've got a different way of doing things, and I'm like, oh, I quite like that. I like how they've done that, or I like how they've shown that. So I always get something out of it, but it's very rare now that I just sort of sit down and sew for sewing's sake.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get, I'm building a big cutting bench down in the shop, because you're cutting your interfacings and foam and things. And I thought I've got enough space and a bench down to put I'm not going to call it a serger, because I still call it an overlocker, because I'm from New Zealand, you know, an overlocker in my domestic machine. I'm going to put them down there because I haven't sewn any clothes for years. And I thought, I've got all this amazing fabric that I could be sewing my own clothes. So, but I still want to keep that separate to my industrial and my things up here. So I'm looking forward to doing that. You know, even summer tops and things, which take you half an hour to make. Yeah. But it's just a fun thing to do that separate, you know.
Some of them take longer to sort of cut out, and
they do.
Then to actually, especially when you're doing them on an overlocker. I'm with you, it's an overlocker.
Yeah, serger doesn't. Sorry.
UK.
Yeah.
it can be difficult sometimes, can't it, to sort of like
terminology
differentiate. Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter she'll go in the elevator, and I'm like, it's a lift.
It's a lift. Speak English. Yeah. Oh. It's funny how things stick, isn't it? You know, and it's like yogurt and yogurt. You know, I'm like, yeah, it's always going to be yogurt for me, because I'm a northern girl myself, you know, so it's always been yogurt. But anyway, it's good to see the chat agrees overlocker. Good.
Yes. And Donna's saying that she likes gunmetal and silver.
Right.
And
thank you, Donna.
There's lots of congratulations for your anniversary as well. So
that's lovely.
Deciding not to work. Donna's saying she's got 25 years and her mum and dad's 55 years now. 54 years.
Oh, awesome. That's amazing.
47 for Maureen. So Andy's saying no pressure, obviously, with the first wedding. Yeah, we don't. I think actually the following day I'm going out with the girls for lunch, so he gets a break from me. That is his present. Donna's saying she's learning loads from both me and Emma, pushing her limits.
That's awesome. Yeah. Excuse me. Oops, losing my sound here.
Donna's also saying that she used to work with the American Air Force. Much hilarity ensued, I can imagine. So, and Evelyn is joining us from California as well.
Nice.
So, we're definitely very international today, with a UK host, a New Zealand guest, and US
awesome.
members in the chat, which is lovely.
You know, I think it's amazing. You know, you look at the world, and I'm not going to go into the news and what's happening in the world, but with our sewing communities, it's amazing how we can just come together with a shared interest. Yeah. And we just all accept each other for who you are. No ageism, because honestly, that's something that I'm really struggling with here in New Zealand at the moment, is the whole ageism thing. It drives me mental. But in this community, there's nothing. You know, I love it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. It's like you say, it's that shared passion for something that we love. And it's such a helpful community as well, isn't it? You're seeing pretty much all of the Facebook groups in particular, because I'm mostly a Facebook girl. I'm way too old for TikTok. and I very rarely use Instagram. But you see in the Facebook groups, you know, somebody asking a question, you know, I don't know how to do this. Can anybody help? And either somebody's there with an explanation or a helpful link to a YouTube video that they've previously watched that's been really helpful for them. Or even if it's a link into a different group, you know, this is the designers group, you know, there'll be loads of help. It's just, there's just so much help and support. You know, and it's very, very rare that you kind of see, you know, anybody share anything. In fact, I don't think I've ever really seen it, especially in any of the bag making groups, anybody share a bag or something they've made and anybody have anything horrible to say about it. It's always positive. There's always like, you know, well done, you know, especially if it's your first bag, like, you know, congratulations, you've made your first bag. Welcome to the spiral that you're now going to go down.
And it's a huge big rabbit hole, isn't it? It's a huge deep hole. But I think it's like we just want people to see people succeed. You know, well, I do. And I know I'm pretty tight in my group. If I see anything, I'm like, no, that's not okay. You know, like any negative sort of stuff. But that's very, very rare. I have seen a bit of designer bashing in the first year of my designing. That was all very positive, but it has got a bit of that sort of become a thing lately. And I sort of jump on that pretty much. I don't know why or what the reasoning behind that is. Whether it's just the whole negativity in the world, people
sometimes
needing to vent a little bit, or
sometimes it can spill over, can't it?
Yeah, but I think on a whole, people are really encouraging and really, you know. But it's
I think it's amazing now that we'll have so many people out there designing bags. Sort of 5-6 years ago, there was just, you know, a core amount of bag designers, which is great. They were all amazing bag designers. But, you know, that there's a new flurry of people coming in and trying their hand at bag designing. And yes, some might only ever release one pattern and decide it's not for them and not release anymore. And some might go on to release, you know, a whole flurry of bag patterns that are amazing. And I just think having that option and that variety of different, to me, that's only a good thing.
I am a bit worried about the whole, well, I'm not worried because it's going to happen anyway, is the whole AI thing in compact with designing patterns. And I've seen twice this week someone said, I'll just get GPT chat to write the pattern for you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if you use chat GPT, it's going to take you more work checking it than if you just wrote it yourself. But I think it's just a matter of time before you can put in your specs of what you want and it will spit out a pattern for you. So I think that makes us as designers step up and really think outside the box. Look at things that are really different, ways of attaching straps maybe, or, you know, just putting something that is totally unique. I think that's the only way there's going to be room going forward once technology gets to the point that design is almost at the fingertips of anybody with a few sentences or knows how to prompt. So I think that's a discussion that we should be having. We can't say it's not going to happen because it's already happening. It's just how do we work with it and what do we want it to be in the community?
What's your favorite types of bags to design?
I'm a small bag person. I have a fatigue issue, and I can't carry stuff. So all my bags. What have I got here? See, tiny. So all my bag patterns, other than my tote and Derek, and even those are small. They're not big. So that's my niche is I do small bags, and just little. I do things differently. All my testers go, but we don't normally do it that way, and I'm like, just try it. You know, and they go back and go, oh, that works. I don't know why they're surprised now after the 8th bag, you know. So I think I just like to stretch ways of doing it. Or I look at a bag and think, how could that be done differently? I'm not trying to change it up. I'm just thinking there's got to be other ways of doing things. And that's, you know, it's like, it doesn't have to be the same old. There's lots of ways. Yeah.
Definitely.
And if, like, my recess zipper, for example, on my Ems tote is done on a flat piece. It's not into a seam.
Right.
So it can be put on any bag without having a seam in the lining, and it can be put anywhere. And they were like, how's that going to work? I said, just go through the pattern, and it's like, and two of them came back, go, oh, I don't like that. I like the old way. And then they said, oh, but then you could put that on this, this, and this. So there's other ways of using it. Whether you like it or not, it gives the opportunity in some circumstances that you can still use it.
Yeah.
So it's
And it's like what we were sort of saying before. It's learning something from each project you do, or each pattern that you try, that you can then take into other things that you for me, for you for designing, but for me for changing. So because there's lots of things where I'll be like, oh well, I like the way that designer does that, so I'm going to pinch that from there, and on that zipper, that recess zipper, I'm going to do it that designer's way because I prefer that way. But I like that designer's way of doing slip pockets, so I'm going to pinch that slip pocket and put that in there. So I kind of end up with sort of quite a mismatch of things, but it works because I have all of these skills that I've learned because I've been introduced to all these different designers and different ways of doing things that I would never have learned had I not tackled those patterns.
And I think that's great that we should try different designers. I used to do a bit of testing for different designers before I decided I was putting out my own pattern. And I really enjoyed that because it was like you get the raw side of the design before they change it. And what I did notice with two of them, they had different things in there and they gave into pressure from testers to put it the way that everybody did it. And it really disappointed me because I thought it was better the way they had originally had it. And I don't think as designers we should give into the pressure to conform to the usual way of doing things. Like, keep it different. It doesn't really matter. If people want to do it the other way, they can. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because we all have our favoured ways of doing things.
Yeah.
But we don't learn different ways of doing things unless we try them, do we?
No, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I'm terrible. I'm sitting here thinking of asking you questions because,
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Having my podcast, I'm like, oh, now I need to ask this.
Don't worry about it. We'll just do it like we'll say. We'll mix it up. We'll do a bit of a mismatch. Elaine's saying that she agrees with the sewing bug. She has to sew something even if it's a thing that doesn't have a home to go to. She just needs to do it.
Yeah.
And Andy's saying, obviously, his name on here does come up as Grumpy. That is a self-imposed nickname. That is not a nickname that I have given him. He's saying, I think the level of skill, technique and persistence means that people usually appreciate the work that has gone into it, which is obviously either the designing or the finished product as well.
Definitely.
I'm not going to show it because I'm not going to embarrass him, but there is a half-finished project down here that Andy's working on.
Oh, that's awesome. What's he making? Are you allowed
He's
to know?
making a messenger bag.
Nice.
So he's starting a new job.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to make myself a new laptop bag. And then thought, oh, what if they don't give me a laptop? I was like, well, you'll still have a really nice laptop bag.
Yeah.
So it's sort of pretty much, it's still in its flat state at the moment, but it's about to go into its 3D state. We are just about to attach the gusset. I think he needed a bit of a break before he went into doing that.
Now, you should have been recording him because I'm sure that will go viral. That would be so amazing to watch.
Well, I think I will another time, but
let him have his
not one. He's not one for really being on camera. I
appreciate that.
I'd have to either coax him or tempt him with whiskey, maybe. Which would make for a fun video. But he's doing really, really well. His top stitching, oh my word, it is amazing.
Some of the best sewists in the world, well, most of them are men, aren't they? Look at the best tailors.
And he's been using the jack. So it's his first little foray onto the industrial, which he wasn't keen on to start with, but I think he's starting to understand why I love Jack
Yeah.
as much as I love Jack. So yeah, but he, like, I've been able to sort of say to him at points where, because it's an I'm not going to sort of say what pattern it is at the moment, but it's quite an old school pattern.
Yeah.
So the instructions are quite sort of basic, and so there's been a few times where I've sort of said, right, well, it says this, but we're going to do it this way.
Yeah.
Because this is a little bit of an easier way to do it, and it'll work better, and it'll make turning this better, and we're going to miss this out because you don't need it. You're not going to need that. You're not going to need this. So again, that's a joy of having, 10 years of bag pattern experience, is I've been able to save him all the mistakes that I've made on my first bags.
Oh, isn't it funny? Husband always laughs when I buy a pattern. He goes, "Why are you bothering? Because you're not going to do it anyway." You know what I mean? Well, I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Donna's saying she would never fit all of her tablets into a bag that small, but she does love it. It is a really cute bag. It is
I'll
a really
show you
cute
my
bag.
This is my favourite bag. This is the picture that's on my picture. This is my Georgie bag. So it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I do love that. I was looking at that during the week.
Fits so much in it. It's actually really roomy. But this is one that's done a little bit different. This is all in one panel. So it doesn't have, whoops, camera. That is all in one panel.
Clever.
So it's only the side piece. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't have a gusset that goes all the way around.
Clever.
It's kind of like, there's all sorts of ways of doing all these different things. Yeah.
I like that. I was looking at that one during the week, and I was like, oh, because I am not a small bag girl, but I am a cute and unusual bag girl. I do like things that aren't the norm. And
one of my testers,
that one did jump out.
I made it at 120, and it does look quite cute bigger. But
yeah,
I mean, people can always make things bigger. Yeah. I just say add more stabilizer. Like if you're making something bigger, definitely. Now I've knocked my mic. Definitely bulk up your base stabilizer and things like that.
Yeah,
it's easier to make a bag bigger than it is to make it smaller, I think.
Yeah.
I think it changes less if you're just making it bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, I'm on the bigger side.
Yeah.
Of bags. Although I don't know whether you've ever made it. I did make the Tribbiani Traveller by Sincerely Jen.
I haven't made it, but yeah, it's a nice pattern by the looks of it.
And I made all three as a travel set because I had it in my head. I wanted this travel set, and when I saw that pattern, I was like, that is what is in my mind. I knew by adding the accent and making a few tweaks, I could make it exactly how it was in my head. I was making it with wool and leather, so it was really sort of posh looking.
Yeah.
I love small.
Posh.
Yeah. I made the smallest sort of, my toiletries, my hairdryer, that sort of thing. I made the medium for Andy out of tweed that we bought on our honeymoon.
Oh.
And then I made the large for me. I could literally fit my youngest child in the large. It is huge, which I mean it's amazing. But I have to then swap bags with Andy because he has to carry it because it's just so big. And when I say I can fit my youngest child in, she is 20 and in her third year at uni. So, I'm not talking little small child here. I'm talking fully grown adult. I mean, granted, she's not big. She's about a size 6, but she's, she's a fully grown adult. She could still fit inside this bag. It is massive, but I love it. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's definitely not one I need to upscale.
An Orosa pattern that I want to try. I think it's called the Beast. Yes, I want to try that one. And I do need a new travel bag. And I like the way it's got the extra panel at the bottom for your shoes for things like that. So I am toying with
Holly's
that.
made one. And it was fantastic.
I do love her pens. Yeah.
Yes.
I've got a cute quilt cut out, which has been cut out for a while, and I need to get back to sewing it. But yeah.
It's just, as I say, finding that little time turner, isn't it? We all need a little time turner, and Yeah.
And I think I did sort of stray from my niche for a bit, but I thought, no, I'm going to stick with what I do, and small is my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and small's not easy. Like that little tiny one I showed you. In fact, I think the heading for my YouTube tutorial is "Can you sew this?" It is tricky. Like
Yeah.
it's tight to get your machine in. It's tight to do all these bits and pieces, but they're just different new techniques.
Yeah.
You learn how to use your machine, how to handle your fabric quite differently with a small bag than you do with a big bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Um, Arlene's saying hi from New York, and Tracy's saying that she's looking forward to checking out your
Oh,
patterns.
thank you.
As is Elaine. Definitely go and check out as well. Is it Little Mama?
Yeah, Little Mama. Yep.
That is
Listen,
such a cute bag.
I haven't even got one. They sell so quick. I cannot keep them in stock. I need to do a whole lot more. Um, my daughter-in-law, just when she was pregnant with her first child, she says, "I want a little bag. I want something my phone doesn't fall out." So it's honestly, it's quite small. Excuse me. But I started doing a lot of embroidery on that, and the pattern actually includes an embroidery file for the messy bun mama look
Mm-hmm.
that goes on the front, and I make those in denim, and I just can't keep them in stock. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's such a cute pattern.
it,
When I was sort of like looking through all the patterns that you had, I was like, oh, I bet that one. I bet that is probably is that probably your bestseller
yeah, and it was my first
pattern
pattern.
wise?
Yeah, and it was the first pattern I did. I put it in a bundle too with So Modern bags a while back. But yeah, it's quite a versatile pattern too, because it's
Mm-hmm.
got the zip down the front for the phone and stuff like that. It's this little. It can be put in a tote bag when you're going to work. Do you know what I mean? It can be do as a double up bag,
Yeah,
but yeah. So
I've got the Derek pattern.
yeah, that was definitely a step sideways for me. But hubby wanted just a well, actually, it was my grandson wanted a casual work bag. He's a panel beating apprentice. He just wanted to just throw his folders in or just, fold. So it was a bit different for me. But yeah, he really likes it. It was for a purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to have a proper look at it though, because I need to see. I've got some wax canvas,
Yeah. It's definitely
and
that kind of grunge look. That
yes,
was
and
my
I thought,
plan about that.
yeah, and I thought I need to
Yeah.
have, because I've not really worked with wax canvas before. I've got
I,
it, and
I wax my own.
I've got a little bit of a fear of it, which I need to get out of.
So what's
And
the fear?
I don't know. I think it's just because it's so stiff
Right. So
that
it's
I'm
quite a
like,
heavy wax you've got.
yeah. But I'm like, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll just put it away and I'll come back to it.
Yeah. I
And then I'm
wax
like,
my
stop being.
own. I love waxing it. It's quite relaxing. But what I did the other week, and I'm really looking forward to sewing it, is I waxed some quilting cotton. So I interfaced it with a medium weight woven
Mhm.
and then waxed it. And it's absolutely beautiful texture. And I can't wait to
Oh,
make it up. So it would be water resistant, but it wouldn't be waterproof. But it just,
yes.
and I'm like, with the interfacing, it doesn't have that crinkly look.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I think
Oh,
it
interesting.
takes some time. I should do a video of me doing that, like how it's done. In fact, I
Mhm.
recorded that. I just haven't done anything with it. But it opens up a whole way of getting these awesome prints that we can use a
Yes.
bit differently. But with waxing it, you lose the clarity of the print,
Mhm.
because it dulls it a little bit. But
Yes.
yeah, but
But it does give it that sort of earthy, sort of rugged sort of look anyway. So
yeah.
that sort of dullness of the print then kind of fits in with the aesthetic that the waxing gives, really, I think.
But this fabric doesn't look that way. It looks quite different because it's quite a bright print, whereas the
Mm-hmm.
plain print does look like that. It looks weathered and I did some camo. I waxed some camo for that one. It
Mm-hmm.
was quite a heavy canvas. And that really has that look. It creases and it looks like that. But
Yeah.
with the quilting cotton, because the weave is so fine, it doesn't have that look. So
Oh.
I'm really looking forward to making that up. I was actually going to make up a Howie in it, by Creations. But I just haven't got around to cutting it. So I'm really looking forward to how that makes up because I think I mean, waxing is quite time consuming, but
Yeah.
it offers us another option for our amazing prints with our quilting cotton. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you'll definitely have to make sure that you put out a video of how
Yeah, I
you do
will.
that. I would love to see that. But
Yeah.
also like that bag when it's finished, because it sounds like it's going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm a bit scared to cut it because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
You get your fabrics and I don't want to cut that.
Don't even start me on precious fabrics, because I'm so bad with buying fabric. And then
So a couple of
being like,
people
I
have.
don't want to cut into that.
I know. And so what do? Do you just hoard it and put it in the cupboard?
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
stupid, isn't it? Like, it's
Yeah.
just, yeah. When me and Andy got together, I did explain to him that fabric collecting and sewing are two different hobbies that sometimes overlap, but sometimes
Yeah.
never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
But I am being better. One of my things at the moment is to work my way through my fabric stash
Yep.
and to be a little bit more sort of mindful, if I'm buying fabric, what I'm buying it for, rather than just being like,
Yep.
oh, it's pretty and I need to buy it, because
Yeah.
do I actually need it? Have I got a project in mind at the moment? If I haven't, then it needs to wait until
I think I'm going to
later.
have to correct you there. Yes, you always need it,
Yeah.
but no, you don't have to buy it.
Yeah. I always need and want it, but do I have the space to actually physically
Yeah.
ram it into the cupboard?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I've got plans for a new YouTube series next year, because I do my podcast once a fortnight, and it's been put on hold with the build. But I want my alternate week, I want to do a fun sew. And what I'm going to do is find fabric in my stash, find stuff it complements with in my stash, thinking outside the box. And then thinking about a pattern that would work with that pattern. Because I always think the other way around. I always think the pattern, what can I make it with?
Yes.
So I'm going to go find the fabric in my stash. I'll film that, find the complast, then think, okay, what can we make with this? And go through that process to try and get people to think, even upcycling, can you add something to that? You know, like to look outside the box, because I've got to use my stash.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. And I have a huge pattern stash as well that, and I tend to, I get very comfortable with patterns that I've sewn a lot and that I've then changed and hacked and made kind of my own to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll just make that one again, because I don't even have to look at the pattern. I can put something on the TV and I can just mindlessly sew, and I don't have to think about it. And that doesn't challenge me. So my thing is sort of a little bit sort of similar to you, is to sort of go through my fabrics and choose things, like say, that go together, and go through my patterns and try to go with patterns that either I haven't made before, well, definitely that I haven't made before, and definitely ones that scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
Push me a little bit out of my comfort zone. And kind of doing something sort of similar with my YouTube, is sort of like putting videos together of sort of fabric hauls, but it's from my stash.
Yes,
So
exactly.
this is what I'm planning on sewing this month with. This is the fabric. This is holding myself accountable and saying, right, if I don't do it, you guys can come at me.
I'm going to check
community tab.
Yeah.
Tell me off.
So when I do mine, I'm going to tell people on my channel, go see Deb and make sure she's done hers.
Deb deactivates YouTube.
Yes.
No,
ban.
So
I look at all these amazing fabrics and things that are coming out of the States, but I'm also becoming, sound like a bit of an eco warrior. I'm also a little bit concerned about all the vinyl that's going into the landfills, and all the things I'm seeing at op shops that are vinyl, all the vinyls that are breaking down really quickly. They've all got petroleum and things in them. I know there's different makeups, but if we've got this stuff in our cupboard, we've got to be able to use it. Yeah.
I've got an absolute massive stash of leather as well.
Oh.
Do
you sew the leather? Have you sewn much?
Yeah, I do enjoy sewing with leather.
I've just bought my first pieces. I bought a half hide of bright orange. It's like a burnt orange, but I just love the colour.
I'm gonna do something that I said I wasn't gonna do. This is the
Ooh, that would go
lining.
with my, yeah.
Yeah, this is the, put my headphone back in. This is the lining for Andy's bag.
That is gorgeous. I love
And it
that.
did have some orange leather, but there isn't enough of it left to have made that.
Right.
It would have been, absolutely beautiful with that fabric for the lining.
Yeah.
But I literally sort of only have sort of about this much left of it. But I got a lot of leather from like an upholsterer, so it was kind of big offcut, so big enough to make bags from, but not big enough for them to, upholster anything. But so I need to work my way through that.
Yeah.
So that is my projects for the forthcoming months. Well, Andy's like months, decades. Have you seen your cupboards?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it looks like people want to...
Donna's saying that she's been given the confidence to change bits that she doesn't like, how it's done in the pattern.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that was in relation to the getting Grumpy to sew the bag.
Oh, right, yes. I was trying to work it out. Donna's saying, don't need to show his face, just his hands.
Exactly.
Yeah. Brian's saying he would absolutely watch the whiskey bags with Grumpy's channel.
So that'd be brilliant.
I'll work on him. Donna is agreeing. Andy's going to be absolutely knacking me when I come off here. I might just sleep in here tonight. Elaine's saying we create unique from you all. Brian's saying wax and quilting cotton might just change his life.
Do I need to go find a piece? Let me go and have a look.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm back. So this is just twill that I have waxed. So as you can see, when I scrunch it, it's got that waxed look.
Yes.
And this is the quilting cotton.
Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful pattern.
So yes, it does crunch, but it doesn't get the white in it.
Oh,
and so it's interfaced on the back. So I've interfaced it first. So it's made it quite, it's going to have a lovely structure to the bag because it's not thin. Yeah. So I just love that print. It's just absolutely...
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I have waxed those. I use a third candle wax, which is, it's not paraffin, is it? What do they call it? Or is it paraffin wax? A third, a beeswax and a third soy. Now on this, I've upped the soy because the soy is soft and the soy doesn't crunch as much. So that's,
Oh, well, that's kind of then answered Donna's question of like, how do you wax a fabric? But definitely put a video out because I think that would be. And then Maureen was obviously asking what sort of wax you use. So a third of each.
Yeah.
And Andy's saying Grumpy's man bags was his initial thought, but he likes whiskey bags. And Elaine saying as well that the Country Cow do have a stock of waxed canvas as well if people don't want to wax one, which is actually where my wax canvas is from. I just haven't tackled it yet because I've got the fear. But
but I think it might take me an hour and a half to wax a meter of fabric. And I don't think we can get, but then you see you're not, so when you buy it, you're stuck with the weight, and it's usually quite a heavy weight from what I've seen. I'm trying to get something a
Waxing
bit
your own
softer.
gives
Yeah.
you so much more variety in that as well, doesn't it?
And if we can do these patterns.
Yeah, you can totally
Yeah.
pinpoint your own colours and types of fabric as well.
So I'm looking forward to making that up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's be exciting.
Donna's saying she's trying to remember it's only fabric. She's got loads of cork, but she's scared to cut it or sew it. Yeah.
I'm the same. I've got rolls behind my door. I must make it up because I just love cork. But yeah, I make a lot of wallets with it and they sell really quickly. But you see, I haven't sold anything. Actually, I've cancelled all my markets this year because I'm just too busy. I've got one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd tell a lie. I'm doing one. But
it's fitting it all in. Fitting it all in. It's so difficult.
So all my prototype bags will go online for sale and that's it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Brian saying whiskey and man bags, a gentleman's society. Oh, I love it.
I love it too.
Brian's on the podcast next week.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I think we just need to blank out a couple of hours because I think it'll be a long one.
Yeah.
Andy's definitely liking that idea. Should we try and talk Andy into coming on when I chat to
that'd
Brian?
be amazing.
I might be able to get him on then. Donna's agreeing, saying nice. Yeah, Elaine's definitely agreeing and saying that she would love to be shown how to wax the fabric.
I do have a short on my YouTube channel of me doing some.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's there at the moment. But,
I see if I can find a link to that and then I can put it in the description as well in here. And then it can send people straight to it, probably tomorrow.
Yeah. Gentleman's bride.
Lynn obviously knows Andy quite well and says, "Gentleman Brian?" ? Sue said she's not very chatty tonight, but she's listening with interest. She's had COVID and flu jab on Monday, and it's knocked her off her feet a bit. Get well soon.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah, Elaine said she's really loving this podcast.
Oh, thank you,
welcome, Elaine. And Andy's saying more reflective of a gentleman in question marks doing it, Lynn. Oh, welcome. And yeah, Brian's just basically saying he's eager to try it as well. Have you seen any of Brian's makes with these? He has quite a lot of chicken themed bags. They are just stunning, and I think some of the fabrics he uses would look really, really good. Being waxed and yeah. I haven't tried this Oddie coat or all these other things that people are coating. Have you ever used any of those? Like that they're waterproofing cotton canvases, cotton with, or it's like a coating that you put over it, isn't it? Like it's a liquid stuff. I haven't tried it. I know quite a few people who have, but I haven't tried it because mainly if I ever need to make a bag and it be totally waterproof, I'll use something like a waterproof canvas or a vinyl. And again, it's probably the same as you. I'm quite time poor. So it's that time of it taken to coat it, let it dry, coat it again, let it dry before I then start the project. And I just kind of don't really have the luxury of that because I've got 10 million other things to do. I did make one bag where I put clear vinyl over the top, very thin clear vinyl. So I put the cotton behind that sort of as a it's just a big tote, and that looked quite cute. But there's loads of different ways of kind of being able to sort of incorporate the bright patterns that you can get with quilting cottons, because that's the thing with quilting cottons and lots of cottons, but it's the prints that you can get. The variety is just huge, isn't it? Where with the water resistant canvases and the waterproof canvases, and even so much with the vinyls, you're a bit more sort of restricted. I've sublimated that, so that's just a thick polyester fabric that I've sublimated in my efforts to get bright prints that I can. But that's my evening bag. I've had it. So it's like fab.
I think we want the colour and we want the panels and we want the things, but I'm finding my fabric bags are selling better than my vinyl.
Yeah.
People are seeming to want something that's different than what they can buy down the high street because it's all just plain colours. And it's like, yeah, they are selling probably 2 to 1 to a vinyl bag, unless it's a highly quilted, something that I've played with because I want to do something a bit extra, but then I'm not charging what I should be charging for those kinds of bags because,
Oh, yeah.
the hours that go into those sorts of things.
Yeah. So, Lynn was sort of referring back to a thing in the comment before saying why men only, and I think Andy was just meaning in that, obviously just encouraging men into the space because there isn't as many, and I think Andy's obviously only took it up because I haven't forced him. I promise I haven't forced him, but he's obviously shown an interest in because I do it so much. But like you say, a lot of, the very high-end tailors are men, and they can be fantastic sewers. But I think some men may feel that, especially some of the groups and stuff are kind of exclusively women, which they aren't. Yeah. They're just kind of, there's more women in them. So, can be a little bit off-putting. So, yeah, anything that would encourage any sort of more diversity, I think it's
brilliant.
It's great. But I mean, we actually have quite a few men in our Facebook group who, are absolutely fantastic bag makers.
Yeah. There's a young chap. One you say he's young. He may not be. He's probably in his 30s. To me, that's young. He's young. And he does the most amazing applique on his bags. The most all in big panels and comes up with these most amazing effects. And I'm like, that's amazing. He does it all on a treadle machine in the back of nowhere. It's like, wow.
Yeah. And Andy's just saying there as well, he gets a lot of people looking at him funny when he says when he's done it. When he's had a go.
Oh, good on him. Looking forward to seeing it finished.
Yeah. So he's doing waterproof canvas on the outside, so it's quite hard wearing because he is quite hard with his bags. And then that's a quilt and cotton, which has all been quite heavily interfaced for the inside, just to kind of give it quite a lot of structure and form and everything on the inside. But he's done all of it himself, all the basting, everything. He wasn't, when he first sat down at this machine, he's like, oh, no. But it's just getting used to it. It's getting used to the foot pedal as well. I was exactly the same when I first started sewing on my industrial.
But a lot of guys are used to using precision machinery, right?
Yeah.
More so than most women. So when it comes to an industrial machine, probably easier for them dealing with an industrial than it is a domestic.
Yeah.
Because it's a solid piece of machinery.
Andy's really quite good with all the technical side of the machines. You can sort of take them, especially my older machines, you can take them to bits, put them back together, fix them, especially if I knock the time and everything out on them. It's usually when it's not working, I'm like, why is it not sewing? And he comes in and go, Deb, you've threaded it the wrong way. And I'm like, why have I done that? All the times. Yeah. How many times you thread it, and then I go the opposite way. And he comes in straight away and spots that I've threaded it the wrong way.
I threaded my needle the wrong way. How do you thread a needle wrong way? When you've been sewing for 50 years, how do you put it from right to left instead of the other way around?
Yeah, I know. It's like I did it on my Janome one day, and it was when I had a studio. It wasn't at home. It was across the other side of town, and I was on for ages, and it just would not sew. And I was really an hour or so later, really sort of beginning to lose my cool. And he come in and he just took one look and he went, it's threaded, you've gone right to left, not left to right. Yeah. I was like, are you absolutely kidding me? This whole time, that's what's gone wrong, and that's what it was. Threaded it the right way, and But I was practically in tears. I couldn't understand why it wasn't working. It was something that simple.
Because we always look for the most complicated thing to solve first, don't we?
Yeah. And the annoying
Simple
thing
stuff.
is I'd re-threaded it about 10 times
I did it
thinking,
the same way.
and I'd still threaded the needle. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
oh dear.
that was a fun day. Not for
Yeah.
Andy, I can promise you. Yeah. Jonathan, she's only just started sewing with vinyl. Her fabric bags sell reasonably, but she's only got simple self-drafted ones at the moment. I've already done that comment. Oh. Brian saying, so many ladies in disbelief that I'm the maker when at markets, and I love it. I bet you do.
Yeah. Oh.
Sue saying, my hubby does, I think that's cross stitch, and he's brilliant knitter. The harder the pattern, the more he enjoys it. I told him I'm going to show him how to use my sewing machine.
Good on you.
We should
do it.
We should
do
all
it.
film it and put it together.
I think that'll be amazing.
Yeah. And Andy's saying it's amazing how technical and skillful it is to sew. And it's only because I've actually been doing it, I can appreciate how difficult it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many variables with sewing, and I think that's what a lot of people don't take into account.
Yeah. Sylvia saying, she got a message on a machine today saying it needs maintenance. Check the stitch count, 16 million, and she's only had it 1 year.
That's why you buy a really basic vintage.
That'll be on Sylvia's embroidery machine. Sylvia has.
Yeah.
I think that'll be her V3. Sylvia lives not far from me, so I know Sylvia quite well. And she does the most amazing embroidery things. It's out of shot at the moment because I think it's across the other side.
Oh, the cross stitch. Okay.
That my mum did that, and then I think it's up above. I've got a lovely card that I got for my birthday of Sylvia that is all done on her embroidery machine. It is
lovely. I love embroidery on a bag. Like I've got a little embroidery machine, but it's got a big extension that you can put onto the machine. I just haven't had time, but I'm looking forward to having room with that setup because you can do some neat techniques. I could even teach it to do my quilting actually.
And
I enjoy it.
Yeah, it can kind of really open up the scope for a bag as well. You can take something that is very plain and simple design and really elevate it by putting like an embroidery piece on the front of it. And so
oh, Deb's frozen. Okay. So it looks like we've lost Deb maybe. So I'm not sure if you've still got me. Is it just me that Deb's frozen for? Is it everybody perhaps? Yes, so those pesky gremlins, she will be back. I'm sure she will. She's just taking a break, really. Taking a wee rest. She'll sort it out.
Yeah,
back to fabric width.
I think I'm still frozen. Don't know what's going on.
The gremlins got her. They certainly did.
Yeah, I think it's our internet. You wouldn't think that where I live is a very, very industrial town, but our internet is, we just do not have very good internet at all. Let me just see if I can change my camera. 2 seconds.
It amazes me in this day and age that we still have glitches in our internet. Do you know what I mean? It's just mental.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, good. Maureen can still hear us clearly. That's cool.
Yeah. There we go. It might go off again because it doesn't like when I do it this way. I have to come in through the other way, but it's obviously not liking it. It's
then we get to see you from the other side of your room.
Yeah, that's cool. So you can see this is my
okay.
This is Dougal.
That's cool. That's very cool.
So yeah, get a bit of a bigger picture here. So
yeah,
it's probably telling me that it's after a long day. It's probably telling me that it's time
to wrap up and go to sleep.
Yeah, it's probably telling me it's bedtime and time for another cup of tea.
and yet I'm coming
And
just after 10 o'clock, so in the morning. So
you've still got a
just
full
crazy.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a couple of I've got all sorts of things that I need to get on top of today, but
So before we
yeah.
go, what does the future or the next 12 months hold for you?
Okay, I need to do some work on my YouTube channel, getting a more regular thing. I'm hoping to get a sew through once a month, a local. I won't do it as a subscription club as such, but I will need people to sign up as a live so that we can control who's in the lives. It's easier for a sew along doing that than having a free fall. I've got my bag. I'm doing a seasonal bag box, so the summer one should be going out beginning of December. Um, I'm going to have to cut back on my patterns a little bit, but I really enjoy that process of the design. So I'm going to probably only schedule 3 designs for next year. That's if I can get the free one out in the next little bit. Yeah, just prioritize, I guess. But I'm looking forward to really getting into Kiwi Baggers, getting some new products. I've taken the plunge down some variegated thread because there's just nothing available in New Zealand. So that's on its way. But it's a balance between doing what you enjoy, doing what you have to do to pay the mortgage. But my passion is teaching and trying to inspire people to just give it a go. So it's looking for ways to incorporate that in everything I do, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see what's to come.
Yeah. Well, there's so many people like yourself and like Emma and like Tara from all these amazing people who are such an inspiration to just give it a go and just keep going. It's like, yeah, we can all learn so much from each other, honestly.
You sound so like me. Like literally behind everything I do is that want for people just to sit behind the sewing machine and have a go.
Yeah,
and
have
if
a
it
go.
doesn't turn out, it doesn't turn out. Like
Yeah.
Donna said in the chat earlier on, it is only fabric. And yes, fabric's precious. Yes, it costs us money.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't turn out, then we've still learned skills. Even if that is we've learned not to do something a certain way.
Yeah.
We don't then do it that way the next way. We always come away with something from it. And it is only fabric. It isn't life or death.
Yeah.
And, we can, I know Donna particularly does a lot of upcycling and, repurposing of fabrics and stuff like that. So there's so many different things that you can do. Just have a go. And that I'm very much like you. I'm so passionate about getting people to try bag making, because people look at it and think, wow, I could never do that. And it's like, you absolutely can.
And I want to get the young generation on board because honestly, sewing is becoming a skill. I'm glad to see the knitting and crocheting having a resurgence. I think sewing needs to be next. That's important that follows through. But yeah, I was just going to mention to Brian about the waxed canvas. Feel free to message me if you've got any other questions because it's a big topic.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think I've got all of your
cool
sort of links and everything in the description box down below.
Yeah.
But cool. I will go back in tomorrow morning and just double check them all and just make sure that they are still all correct. And I will find that short and I'll add a direct link into that short for the waxing of the fabric as well, just so people can find it nice and easily.
Well, I'm glad there was a point about today that people have got something different.
Yeah, Andy saying he's really enjoyed. It's been great listening to your journey and plans.
Thank you.
We make a difference to listening to mine.
Well, they're pretty much the same. He's probably just getting solace from the fact that there's another husband dealing with it.
He's probably sitting there thinking, do not give her any more ideas. It's enough when she's chatting to Emma and me and Emma plant seeds in each other's minds.
Yes, I can imagine.
She's cursing me at the moment because it was my idea for the 24 days of bag making.
Yes.
So, I mean, everybody else can say thank you to me that they can. Don't think Emma's very happy with me.
No, she's probably cursing you right now.
Yeah, she was like, well, I need to do something different. I said, well, why not do 24 days? And she was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't think she thinks it is.
Because it's a lot of work. Yeah.
So, Brian says it's time for whiskey.
Good on you.
Yeah. Obviously not for you. because it's
Oh,
10 o'clock in the, well, I mean,
well,
if
why
you want,
not?
it's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's, sun's
It'll be a
going
long
over the
day.
yard somewhere in the world. But Donna's saying it's been lovely company while sewing bunting this evening.
Oh,
Maureen
thank
saying
you.
it's been lovely company and had a few laughs. Paula said she's really enjoyed it. I'm going to skip over Andy's comment. He says he's already on the whiskey. Sylvia says they've just been posted. Can't wait.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So I think everybody's really enjoyed hearing all about your journey. And it, like we said before, it's so lovely that, we are literally on opposite sides of the world. We didn't start off that way. We started
No,
off very, very close to each other.
I was just up the road, exactly.
Yeah, but opposite sides of the world. And due to the wonders of technology, even when it throws a little spanner in the works a few times, we can make fun things like this happen, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So Lynn saying great evening, thank you all. And Sylvie saying the same. Been a lovely evening.
Thank you, guys.
So and I hope everybody goes over and follows you on YouTube and your Facebook and sees what you are up to in the coming months. And when you're back home motherland, please do give us a shout and we can we can meet up in person and have a cup of coffee. And I'm definitely going to come up to you because further north, very, very pretty. And
because Newcastle's not that far away.
Yeah, no, it's literally about 8 miles. It's And to be fair, I do make Andy drive quite a distance for cups of coffee anyway, so he's used to it. Just make him get in the car and like, come on, let's go to such and such for a cup of coffee. And he's like, okay, Deb.
Yeah.
And like 3 hours later, we're just getting out of the car.
Yep, I understand that.
I like to keep on his toes. You knew what he was signing up for. This is what I say when I say I'm surprised we made it to a year.
Oh, it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning.
Bless his heart. We have been together 8.5 years. So yeah, he knew what he was signing up for. Definitely. And I'm just going to read out this last comment. Tracy said it's been really interesting. I think that is Marayo. I'm really sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm terrible at pronunciation. First time here and I've really enjoyed it. Don't know how I came by your channel, but I've been listening to your podcast all day. Thanks for keeping me company today. That has really, really
that is lovely. That is lovely.
Because I've had quite a difficult day today. So that's lovely to know that these chats kind of give people some company in the background while they're
well, there was
their day.
I know there's a few here in New Zealand who listen to your podcast quite religiously and have it on their big screens in their workrooms. So I think that's lovely.
And I got it right. Woohoo! I'll probably get it wrong the next time, but I do that with my children, so please don't take offence. But yeah, it's been so lovely chatting to you. I'm going to let you get on with the rest of your day because I know how busy you will be if you're anything like me. So thank you so much for giving up your time today. And next week, as I said to everybody, we do have Brian with us. I'm so excited to talk all about chicken bags, basically. And we'll probably end up talking maybe a little bit about whiskey if tonight's chat is anything to go by. But that's
I'd say
fine.
So.
I will do a little bit of research before next week's podcast. So please do come and join us next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Obviously that is UK time, 8 p.m. Links are all on my Facebook page. And if you go onto the homepage of my YouTube channel, you will see all of the upcoming episodes. You can click on them and you can click to be notified and you will get a little ping when we go live. And hopefully next week we will not have any more gremlins. Fingers crossed. So thank you everybody for joining us in the chat this evening and enjoy your day. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks, guys.